And so that time has finally come. Ladies and gentlemen, to you I present the manga collection update for July of 2018. It's been a long road, and honestly, I cannot thank you all enough for the amount of support I've received on this channel in the last year and a half, since I've been uploading, consistently at least. And I just like to say thank you to all who are watching this video. Thank you all for subscribing, and once again, thank you all for the 500 subs. Really do appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get right into the manga. Alright, so we're going to start with some classics here first. First, we got Yu-Gi-Oh! The original manga, volumes 1 through 3, volume 6, nothing's really changed there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist, volumes 1 all the way to volume 13. I think last video or last collection update, I don't think I had volumes 1 through 13. I think I stopped at volume 7. Honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a manga is very enjoyable. I really do love the series. I think that if I were to get back into it, it would definitely be through me reading volumes 1 through 13, because Duelist is definitely prime Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and is really good. So the manga kept a lot of stuff, as the anime censored a lot, so that's kind of the big problem in my opinion. But overall, it's pretty solid. Next is Freezing, volumes 1 through 12. Not much has changed here. I think the last collection video I did, I think I had the same amount of volumes. I could be wrong. I'm kind of going off the top of my head here. I did not watch my past collection videos, so I have no idea. But yeah, Freezing is kind of like a nice little action harem ecchi seinen series. I know that's kind of like a mouthful of a bunch of genres thrown into one. Freezing is good. I have nothing wrong with this series. It's one of the few 7C series that I own. And as far as just an action battle manga goes, this is a pretty solid series. If you're looking for something to, fairly enjoyable that can kind of be compared to the likes of Akame ga Kill, I would say this is definitely better and more enjoyable. The releases aren't too bad as well. They're 2-in-1 volumes, so they're of pretty decent quality. So definitely go check it out if that's something that you'd like to see. Next around here, we got some goodies. We got Blade of the Immortal, volumes 1 all the way down to 31. And that completes Blade of the Immortal. That's kind of been my channel icon for a while now, and I'm pretty sure it'll be something that I stay true to my roots. Blade of the Immortal is amazing. It's an absolute enjoying series. I cannot describe how much I love Blade of the Immortal. It honestly was something that captivated me with the whole samurai lore and just the story of feudal Japan itself. There's a lot of content in here that people skip over because they just either do not care for the artwork or they just do not care for the setting. But personally, this is definitely one of my favorite samurai series of all time. And definitely ranks up there with best seinen as well, and also top 10. So that's a lot of lists, but definitely check this out. Do not skip this series. Dark Horse is reprinting them in the forms of omnibus volumes. I don't really recommend those personally, but it is the only format you can do to actually read the series fully now. So they will be reprinting the series via omnibus format, which is fine. But definitely check out Blade of the Immortal. Up top, we have Neon Genesis Evangelion, volumes 1 through 14. That is the complete manga. Honestly, very underwhelming for a lot of people because it's not supposed to be what you would call a faithful adaptation to the anime. It's good standing on its own 2 feet. I definitely think that Neon Genesis Evangelion, the anime, is better, but the manga is still pretty damn good, especially being that the anime is, of course, the first thing that came out. And not to mention, but a actual producer, I believe, I could be wrong again on this, but a producer actually worked on this manga that worked on the anime. So it's true to the original. The ending kind of changes it up a little bit, but honestly, it's really good. So I recommend that if you guys are a fan of Neon Genesis, definitely check out this manga because it is good. Next, again up top, we have Gantz volumes 1 all the way down to volume 15. stopping and then picking back up at 17 all the way to 19, and then 21 through 25, and then volume 30. Gantz is sort of a love-hate manga. You either really enjoy it or you really just kind of despise it at a certain point. Volumes 1 through 10 is definitely debated on, you know, as being one of the best arcs in a seinen. You know, I think it's good. I don't think it's the best thing out there, but it is actual solid, you know, Gantz reading material. From there on, it kind of goes down a weird path. You either continue to like it or just really hate it. I didn't, you know, obviously I didn't hate it at this point, so I continued reading it. And then kind of by volume 25 is where I fell off. I don't really care for Gantz after that. It's kind of a little disappointing, but is what it is. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's a good series, though. If, which they are, Dark Horse is reprinting it in the form of omnibuses. Definitely check it out. Next is, already came over here, so Vagabond Volumes 1 all the way down to Volume 37. That is the complete series of Vagabond that is currently out at the moment. Volume 38 is a subject to be discussed because we have no idea whether or not it will be released in the States, and probably won't. So for now, we have Volumes 1 through 37, and Vagabond is, again, one of my favorite series of all time. Solid stuff here. Artwork is fantastic and beautiful. Story is amazing. And also, more importantly, it's samurai greatness. If you're a fan of samurai manga going into the hearts of Blade of the Immortal, you'll love Vagabond. It is just, it's the lore and the setting are all amazing. So definitely check it out. Next is Goodnight Pun Pun. We have Volumes 1 through 7, that is complete of Goodnight Pun Pun. This is by far, I think, probably my favorite Inyo Asano work. That's probably cliche of me to say, but this is definitely the story that I got into the most. The story, the setting, the characters, everything from that is just amazing and fantastic. So I'm not going to say anymore. Go and check it out. I should probably review this series because it definitely is deserving of a video in itself. So check that out. Forgot to mention up here, Gantz G Volumes 1. That is a new series by Dark Horse. It is pretty much a spin-off series of the original Gantz. It has similar looking characters, but different story, kind of a different setting, but mostly the same. It's Gantz sci-fi greatness. So if you want to check it out, go check it out. Hellsing Volumes 1 through 10. This is definitely I don't know, it was kind of underwhelming going into it. I was hoping it'd be like the anime, but it's not. So but that doesn't mean it's terrible or bad by any stretch. In fact, I actually enjoyed the manga a lot. It just definitely wasn't what I had hoped it to be. Could have been better, could have been worse. So as far as it stands, I don't think it's worth the asking price because it is out of print right now. So if you can't get a hold of it for a very cheap price, I can't really recommend it. So for now, definitely not my cup of tea, but solid nonetheless. You know, it's definitely like a 6 or 7. So next is Sanctuary. We have Volumes 1 through 9. That is the complete series of Sanctuary. What an amazing series. Terrible translation, but a amazing series nonetheless. If you can find scans of this series online that are good, I would recommend you read the series. The English release of it is kind of out of print, so good luck finding the volumes, but it is a fantastic series. Easily top 5. I really hope that this series gets some limelight because it needs a reprint. It is that good. Next up we have is Wounded Man, Volumes 1 through 9. That is the complete series of Wounded Man. Same artist as Sanctuary, so if you've read Sanctuary and you've seen how amazing the artwork is, as well as the story is done by a different guy, but the actual artwork itself is done by the same dude who did Wounded Man. So honestly, I have yet to really fully read this. I've seen some really garbage scans online, and by very few, I mean like maybe 1 or 2 chapters. Like, this series just does not exist online. It is completely impossible to find this series scan-wise online. So I decided to go in, you know, all the way, went on eBay, found a pretty decent lot on eBay, so just decided to pick it up. So we'll check it out, see how it is. Next is Solanin, or Solanin, however you want to pronounce it. Another Ino Asano work, and honestly, I would say this is probably my second or third favorite story. In terms of a one-shot, I had to reread this series, I think, twice to kind of fully understand some of the stuff in it, but honestly, it was a pretty solid read, so if you're looking for some more Ino Asano greatness, check out Solanin. Alright, and now we're approaching the bottom shelf here. We have is Bleach, volumes 1 all the way down to volume 72. That is currently all that I have of Bleach. I think volume 73 came out recently, still need to pick that up. And hopefully we'll get on board with the ending and conclusion of Bleach. Not much to say about Bleach other than it's had its fair share of ups and downs, and you know, by downs I mean yeah, the Fullbring arc, fuck that arc, terrible. Anyways, that's kind of my thoughts of Bleach. Next is Zombie Powder, volumes 1 through 4. This was the series that Tadekubo worked on before Bleach, and it's, you know, it's an okay shonen series, nothing really too great because it's only 4 volumes long, so they had to wrap things up pretty quickly. First 2 volumes are pretty exciting, pretty interesting. Starts off with a few cool concepts and then sort of diverges into something a little more kind of rushed. So check it out if you're a fan of Tadekubo, if you're a fan of early art from Tadekubo himself. He had some early Bleach concepts in here, and yeah, so check it out. Next is Trinity 7, volumes 1 through 2. I think I have one other volume laying around somewhere. Don't buy this series, it's terrible. The anime is much better, so cannot say that enough. It really is terrible. Anyways, moving on. We have Berserk, volumes 1 all the way down to volume 38. That is currently all we have of Berserk right now, at least at the time of me recording this. Wow, so Berserk starts out really great. Really big fan of volumes 1 through 13, 14. That's kind of like the pinnacle of Golden Age right there. That is sort of my love for the series, what I usually go back to and reread from time to time. The later arcs aren't necessarily bad. They're just not among some of my favorite stuff. It starts to pick back up, though, again, around volume 26, 27, kind of around this point, and then it takes another nosedive, and then at around, like, 36 or 37 or so, it picks back up again. So Berserk is a series that has its fair share of ups and downs. It has definitely its better moments, and then its not-so-better moments, but overall, I would say Berserk is, like, you know, it's easily, you know, I can definitely understand why people would put this in their top 10, you know, it's notorious for a reason. It's definitely had some legendary moments. Golden Kamuy, volumes 1 through 5. This has been a series I kind of had my doubts for since the beginning. The first 2 volumes were very underwhelming, not really something I was caught on with. It's kind of a weird setting, you know, it's like a cooking manga, but has like battle action seinen moments, and you know, it has some really weird, obscure, like I said, cooking moments. But the setting is amazing. I gotta agree, and this is to quote Year Third Manga, you know, the setting and environment is freaking awesome in this series. As far as that concept goes, I'm all on board for it, but, you know, if it doesn't get any better, and I'm on, like, volume 3 at this point, and it's like, you know, it's getting a little better, but if it doesn't, like, start getting good by volume 5, I'm thinking about just dropping it completely. So, we'll see how it goes. If it gets better, great. If it doesn't, oh well, not a huge loss, so we'll see. Next is the Devilman Classic Collection. What a beautiful release by 7 Seas. Hardcover edition. Let me just pull this out, kind of show you guys here. Do a little review for you guys. Very nice hardcover edition. Honestly, cannot say enough how great this is. I did not pay $29.99 for it, so get those deals on Amazon when you can. Because it's great, although Amazon does have a knack for damaging stuff, which you can see clearly there. But yes, overall I would say that is probably one of the better releases from 7 Seas, and hopefully we'll see more of those. So moving on, we have is Phoenix. That is right, the godfather of manga himself, Phoenix. Osamu Tezuka. Volumes 1 through 8, and then volumes 11 through 12. Still missing 9 and 10, although we'll be getting those here very soon. So cannot wait to have completed Phoenix. So far, where I'm at in Phoenix is pretty good. I am on volume 6 at the moment. I've been kind of slacking with the releases of this because I just don't have as much time to read manga anymore as I used to. But volume 6 right now is fairly interesting. I would have to say probably Future is my favorite volume by far. Happens kind of very early on in the series. And then everything else afterwards either gets really good or kind of takes a nosedive. Civil War, yeah, I haven't necessarily gotten super far into it, but I can tell that it's going to be a slow one. So we'll see. Next is going to be Blue Spring. And this is a one-shot that Viz put out from the man Taiyu Matsumoto. And honestly, you know what? It's definitely a good one-shot. The artwork in this series is pretty phenomenal. I don't own really any more of Matsumoto's work, so I can't really compare anything else to it. But overall, I would say it's pretty good. So if you can find it at a cheap price, it is out of print, so good luck. It's worth a pickup, so definitely should pick that up if you can find it. Initial D, volumes 1 through 7, and then Alone volume 13. This is the Tokyo Pop print of Initial D, and they never finished it, so I don't know why I'm collecting it, but I found this series in particular at a used bookstore for a pretty cheap price. Decided to jump on it, so yep, now it's in my collection, so definitely there's that. So I love Initial D. The anime is great. Manga is pretty phenomenal, just minus the soundtrack. So it's missing, Euro beats and whatnot, which kind of sucks. So, but overall, the manga is pretty good. So check that out if you're a fan of Initial D or just looking to get into a manga about cars. It's pretty cool. Forgot to mention the Full Metal Alchemist box set that consists of volumes 1 through 27 of Full Metal Alchemist. Viz currently is kind of putting this out of print in favor of the Full Metal editions that are really nice hardcover, similar JoJonium quality volumes. If you want to get into Full Metal, the singles are nice, but the hardcover editions are also pretty damn cool. But yep, Full Metal Alchemist, probably the best shonen that I own in my collection that is finished. I notice how I use finished as the keyword. Has one of the best endings in my opinion for a shonen. Wraps up very nicely, and I definitely think that Full Metal Alchemist is something you should own in your collection. Really, really good stuff. So as we come over here, I probably should have moved all this crap. Got a humidor over here. That's yeah, cigars. I smoke cigars. Big surprise, right? I'm gonna move this here out of the way because we don't need that in the way of all the good shit. We have Ultimate Muscle volumes 1 through 6, volume 8, and then volume 10 to 12, and then 14 all the way to 29. Those last few gaps in the collection are a bit hard to find and are still very expensive, so hopefully one day I'll be able to complete it. I sort of have this this weird relationship with Ultimate Muscle. I think it is a great shonen manga. I don't think it's the greatest of all time. But as in terms of nostalgia, as well as just some of the shonen tropes that you see in other series, not just in this one, but in later shonens like My Hero Academia, or stuff like I don't know. It's mostly My Hero Academia. I get a very, very strong vibe from that, and this definitely came first. Kinnikuman is a huge big seller in Japan, so it can only be said that how great this series is. So I recommend that if you guys can find it, definitely check it out. Really good stuff. And like I said, I got a bunch of shit. Car keys, like, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, Bastard volumes 1 through 3, and then 6 through 18. That is complete of Bastard. And yeah, actually no, what am I saying? Complete? I don't even have 4 or 5, and then I think 19 is the last volume that got basically released here in the States.
Viz canceled this series here in the States, so we never did get an actual final volume of the series. It just basically got canceled, and so the same thing kind of happened in Japan. I think they made it to volume 27, and then the series just sort of fell off. The mangaka kind of just said, nah, I don't really want to finish it, and so yeah, it didn't get finished. And this is definitely Viz's version of Berserk. Don't take that the wrong way. This is a very kind of graphic and yeah, it's a very graphic series. It definitely has that 80s, 90s trope of characters. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck for any of this stuff or flagged down for whatever, but it's a very, very heavy series. So check it out if you're a fan of Berserk. I've only read like 4 volumes of the series just because, like I said, I don't have much time to read it. But from what I read, I enjoyed. So check it out for sure. Ignoring the face, but, you know, want to see some more manga. But, you know, just a highlight. Got a Donkey Kong plush. That's cool, I guess. Anyways, moving on down here, we have is the High School of the Dead Full Color Omnibuses Volumes 1 through 2. That is complete of High School of the Dead. Some prime stuff right here. Honestly, if you're looking for some fun, this is what you're looking for. High School of the Dead. It is awesome. I don't think it is a great series with a phenomenal story, but it is entertaining to shit. It is just a really fun series to hop into. So check it out if you want. It's good stuff. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Volumes 1 through 3 of Phantom Blood. That is complete. Battle Tendency, Volumes 1 through 4. That is complete. And then Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, Volumes 1 through 5. Been slacking on the releases. You all know how I feel about JoJo. It's awesome. You know, just check it out. Battle Royale, Volumes 1 through 5 of the Ultimate Editions. That is complete. That consists of the 15 volumes that were released in the singles. And honestly, I cannot say enough how much I love this series. Battle Royale was one of the first ever kind of seinen mangas that I got into. Very dark, very depressing, and just brutal with its violence. If this is definitely not for the faint of heart. This is definitely a brutal series, so do not check it out if you are of the faint of heart. It is good though, so check it out if you like seinen. So good stuff. Next we have is Volumes 1 all the way down to Volume 28 of Lone Wolf and Cub. I have read up to Volume 13, and so far I am loving the series. I can't really give you my complete thoughts of it just because I haven't finished it, but from what I've read, this could potentially become my all-time favorite manga. It could trump that of Blade of the Immortal, depends on how well the series concludes. But overall, I would say that this so far is on the way to becoming a freaking amazing masterpiece. I know that kind of took long for me to say, but this is absolutely an amazing series. Dark Horse did the worst possible release for this series for the best, so they kind of almost screwed it up. But because the series is so good, it barely misses the mark of just being unreadable. But honestly, it gets picked up by the fact that it is so good. So that is the Lone Wolf and Cub. Next is Mushishi, Volumes 1 through 6, and then Volume 8, 9, and 10. I think I have 7 coming pretty soon. But for now, I got it back. I got most of these volumes bagged. And Volume 7. I do own Volume 7. I should say I have it completed, but it's a library copy, and I don't like showing off library copies. So, you know, got that. So, Mushishi Volumes 1 through 6, and then 8, 9, and 10. Not much to say. If you're a fan of the anime, it's pretty cool. It definitely captures that wandering essence of storytelling. It's not something that's very cohesive. They don't really revisit any places in this manga, so don't be thinking that it's like that. It's just a very chill and fun series, so if you're a fan of the anime, definitely check out the manga. And next we have is Blood Block Battlefront, Volumes 1 through 7. Pretty cool so far. I'm on Volume 3, and getting some more kind of shonen vibes from this, but overall, pretty phenomenal. Golgo 13. Now this is a series that kind of took me by surprise. Didn't think I would get into this, although the only problem I have with this is that Viz decided to do something kind of stupid and only serialize what they think is the better stories of Golgo 13. Now, I will say, most of these volumes are pretty damn good, especially for the first 4 volumes. Good stuff. I mean, nothing really wrong with that here. But, I mean, this is the best of Golgo 13, and it's basically 140 volumes. So, it's a long-running series. So, anyways, Golgo 13, out of print, phenomenal, great stuff, though. Honestly, really awesome. And then Lone Corner over here, I don't know why, because these are some really cool pickups. We have is Blackjack. We have volumes 1 all the way to volume 5. That is all I own, a Blackjack, unfortunately. Very out of print, very coveted, and very much so interesting. So over here, kind of, I got like a DBZ collage kind of going on. Basically what I was going to do is I was going to see if I could find a young Goku or like a kid Goku and kind of pose him going into his forms of Super Saiyan. So, you know, we got Kid Goku over here if we had one. I don't have a figure of Kid Goku. And then a Kaioken times 10 Goku. A Super Saiyan 1, first time ever going Super Saiyan against Frieza, and then a Super Saiyan 3 with the halo, and then finally a Super Saiyan 4. None of that blue shit, because fuck Dragon Ball Super, even though I own it and still read it. But yeah, fuck Dragon Ball Super. I just, honestly, you know, very, very disappointing. Anyways, you just gotta trust me on this, guys. Dragon Ball volumes 1 through 15 or 16, whatever it caps off at. That's, yeah, that's complete of Dragon Ball. Then we got Dragon Ball Z and all the singles. That is right, all the singles. Decided to say screw all those regular ones and just get the singles. And then Dragon Ball Super, volumes 1 through 2. Shaman King, volumes 1 through 32. Jesus, if I can freaking pick up these books. You just gotta take my word on it. Got all the volumes of Shaman King. I think last time in my collection I did not have the complete series of Shaman King. Like I said, though, just take my word on it. I got volumes 1 through 32 of that. That's going to be out of print soon because Viz just pulled the license of it, gave it to Kodansha. Let's hope they don't fuck the release up. I really hope they don't. But yes, basically got that. Next we have is Buddha, volumes 1 through 8. Another amazing Osamu Tezuka work. Read the first 2 volumes of it. I haven't finished it. I really need to. From what I've read, it is amazing. Could be my favorite by far so far of Osamu Tezuka that I've read. I've only really read Blackjack, Phoenix, and then of course Buddha, so I have really not a whole lot to go off of. But so far, I mean, it is great. So I cannot wait to continue to dive deeper into Buddha and hopefully, you know, go from there. Next is One Piece. Volumes 1 all the way down to volume 21, and then 22 all the way to 41, and then 43 to 45, and then 50 through 53. That is pretty much all I own of One Piece. I will be getting some more here pretty soon, making use of the buy 2 get 1 for free deal that Barnes & Noble is currently throwing out there right now. So if you guys have yet to purchase any manga, now is the time to do so, because Barnes & Noble does not do these deals. They do not do these deals very often, so it's a good time to definitely hop on board and get some One Piece. You know, it's a big series, so you might as well finish it. But yeah, One Piece is great. Nothing more I can really say. It's probably the most consistent of the big 3 here in the States. Not my favorite, though, at least right now. All this early stuff, probably from East Blue to Water 7, I would say is peak One Piece. Skypiea is pretty forgettable. Fuck Skypiea, don't read that. Skip to Water 7, just kidding. Read through Skypiea. It might be a bore, but it is kind of core to the story in some way. But Water 7 is peak. It is peak One Piece. Sabaody is amazing. 4 volumes, and it's like probably one of the better arcs in One Piece. So much hype and so much world building in such a very small arc. And then anything else after that's kind of like, yeah, it's hit or miss. Impel Down's pretty entertaining, and Paramount War is great, but again, only 4 volumes, so pretty short. But yeah, really good stuff. So it's all One Piece. Alright, so now we're just getting all to the filler of the collection. This is just sort of some stuff that either I, plan to finish, maybe read a little later on. All this stuff I had to pull out of storage just because, there's nowhere to put all this stuff. I don't have bookshelves, so it's very hard to store my manga when I don't have any, but I will be getting some soon. So right here we have volumes 1 through 14 of Pokemon Adventures, the 2 box sets that it came with. Not necessarily the best box sets. I mean, if you really want to call it that, it's just basically it's a box holding the volumes. Nothing really spectacular. It's nothing like the Full Metal Alchemist box set. So this is okay. Nothing really too great here. So Pokemon Adventures itself, it's not a bad manga. It's pretty enjoyable, but not the best. So take that how you will. It's decent. All right, and so now we have the miscellaneous crap that I probably need to get rid of because it's just taking up space and I don't want it. Volumes 1 through 9 of the Dragon Ball Z Vizbigs. These were enjoyable for the most part as far as collecting. They're just huge. I mean, they take up way too much shelf space and they don't match up with half the things that I have. So now that I have the singles, I can just pop those open every once in a while. The Vizbigs are kind of bulky and a little too iffy for me. I don't really enjoy the quality as much as the single volumes, so these will probably be going here pretty soon, but I have them. They're there. Parasite volumes 1 through 5, take it how you will. Used to love Parasite. In fact, I consider this to be one of my favorite series of all time. Just lost interest in it. I just didn't have the heart to finish completing it, and I know I was so close. There was only 3 more volumes, but honestly, I just don't care about the series enough to finish it. That kind of hurts, but it is what it is. I just wasn't necessarily, it didn't age well for me, I guess is the right way to put it. Please don't take that the wrong way. I think Parasite is good. It just isn't as memorable as I hoped it to be. But maybe one day, I don't know if I'll get rid of it per se, but maybe I'll complete it one day. Just right now, it is so far down on the backlog in terms of what I want. So, yup. Moving on, we have is A Girl on the Shore. I kind of regret doing a review on this and praising it for being good, but going back to it, no, not really. The art's good, but the story is kind of terrible, but whatever. Future Diary, garbage. I don't like this series at all. The anime is terrible, and the manga is in the same boat with it, so fuck you, Future Diary. Durarara, Volumes 1. If I can find Volume 2, it's around here somewhere. This is garbage. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but whatever. I don't really care. I don't like it. I think the anime is terrible. The manga is definitely up there in terms of one of the most worst things I've ever read. So, yeah. Durarara, garbage. Battle Royale, Volumes 2 through 3. This is just kind of like a duplicate. I was collecting the singles for a while, and this is the remnants of what I still own. Still trying to get rid of these. If you want them, PM me. I'll go ahead and work something out. Rurouni Kenshin Volume 22. Got this as well as part of a lot on eBay. I already owned all of Rurouni Kenshin, and this was just kind of like a throwaway volume that the guy was getting rid of. I was like, alright, whatever, go ahead and send it. Might give this away or something, do it as part of a giveaway. The Gray Man Volumes 2 through 3. I think I had 4 and 5, but I can't find them, so rather than look, this is what I got at the Gray Man. I used to own the first 10 volumes, and then it was like really bad when I read this series. I got it recommended to me by someone, and I read it, just didn't like it at all. Thought it was pretty boring, and take it how you will. Props to the mangaka though. I mean, I've heard a lot of medical related stuff has been going on, and she's been doing strong. So, honestly, if that's your take, then by all means. Bakuman, same dude who did the same pair who did Death Note. Death Note is much better though. So Bakuman did not settle well with me at all. I thought this was definitely going to be better. And it wasn't. Not much to say. It just wasn't good. Trinity 7, volumes, well, one volume, volume 3. again, yeah, anyways, Trinity 7, it's kind of bad. It's really just not good, so. Batum, volumes 1 through 8, this was recommended to me by Insidious Swede, and, I can say probably by volume 6 is where the series stops being good. Everything else, though, up to that point is pretty damn good, so it honestly, you know, it could be good, couldn't be good, I don't know. All I know is by volume 8, it's not very good. It's pretty bad, as a matter of fact, so it might get good, I don't know. I'm not really interested enough in completing it or finishing it, so it's there. I have read past volume 8 though, and it's pretty terrible. So next, more duplicates. We got Vagabond volume 4, another volume 4, volume 11, volume 29, and then 27. Those two are still sealed, and these are both out of print, so good luck finding those. If anyone wants these, again, hit me up. I will work out a deal, work out a trade or something, and we can work something out. Volumes 4 and 5 of Gantz, and then Lone Wolf and Cub volume 19. That was an extra sent through the mail, and it is the only reason I got rid of is that reminder mark. That is the worst thing a manga collector could ever hope to have, but honestly, otherwise, solid volume. And then there is the Mushishi volume that I mentioned was a library copy. Go ahead and show that library tag. What a rare and coveted volume, only to be trashed by just disgusting library binding. As you can see, when I got this in the mail, I was genuinely pissed. The guy didn't even mention that it was a library copy. In fact, the picture he used on eBay was a completely different volume, and he had pretty much just lied about the actual quality of the book itself. Very disappointed. The only time I ever got scammed on eBay was with this particular volume. I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of it just because it's in very piss-poor condition, really bad condition, and it's... You know, I own all of Mushishi, and I think the only one time I opened it up was to finish Mushishi. And, yeah, that's what I got. So that's pretty much what I got miscellaneous-wise. That's what I got, so. Alright, down here, and because I'm too lazy, I'm not going to unpack all this stuff, but Shinji Ikari Raising Project, garbage. Don't read it. Don't need to say anymore. Naruto, it's okay. It's great, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, volumes 1 through 27. Like I said, just gotta take my word on it, and then there's some Shippuden thrown in there. It's like volume 1 through 40 or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, Naruto, it's alright, I guess. Alright, so courtesy of Apollo Gray, thanks, Apollo, for volume 1 of the Master Edition of fucking Fairy Tail. I will never ever read this again, but I will genuinely accept this as a gift. So thank you again, Apollo. Cool guy, cool manga tuber. Go check out his channel. Thank you. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, volumes 1 all the way to 16. Good series. Already know how I feel about JoJo. Nothing more to talk about there. Good stuff. Alright, so we gotta wrap this up pretty quick because this video has been long enough already, and I'm pretty sure you guys are uninterested in hearing what my thoughts are on these series. So, Rurouni Kenshin volumes 1 through 28. Have not started it. Looks good. We'll see. Manga guy's a pedophile, though. Anyways, Nisekoi volumes 1 through 14. It started off really cool. Thought it was going to be better, but by, like, volume 10, it starts to get really slow. And, yeah, honestly, the series probably could have ended at volume 10, actually. It really just, to me, was a drawn-out story that could have ended a lot sooner. But I liked what I read of it up to, you know, volume 14, but, you know, is what it is. Suikoden 3, the manga, volumes 1 through 7, and then 8. That's based on the video game. Kind of good? Not really? I don't know. It's okay. Rugrad volumes 1, same dude or same artist who did Death Note. Cool concept, really terrible story and manga itself, so don't buy it. Hellsing volumes 1 in the hardcover edition. This is the only time I've seen a Dark Horse edition
that is a Barnes & Noble exclusive and in hardcover edition, so kind of weird. Ikigami, volumes 1 through 3, kind of an underrated seinen story. It's very psychological, kind of like, it's a little bit like Monster. It takes place in sort of this weird dystopian society in Japan where people at birth are given a chip that will either kill them by the time they turn 18. And the Ikigami are sort of like this agency that helps to inform these people when they're about to die. It's a very cool series, and honestly, I kind of just fell off of it, mainly because I just had other series to buy at the time, so I might get back into it, but for now, it's just going to stay up here in the shelf of storage. Fairy Tail, volumes 1 through 17, 19, and, you know, there's some probably other volumes thrown in there. I don't really like this series anymore. This was definitely one of the few series I got into when I first started collecting manga, and glad I don't have any more because it sucks. But that's just my opinion, so yeah. Banana Fish, volumes 1 through 7 or 8, I don't know, volumes 1 through 7, they're out of order. Like I said, I'm too lazy to organize all this crap because it's just all in storage. Have read Banana Fish, not all of it, but from what I own, I've read it. It's getting a reprint. I'm excited. Can't wait to read it. Anyways, from what I've read, I've enjoyed. I really hope the series does get better from what it currently is at right now. I believe, what is it, at volume 18, something like that. It's a pretty hefty series, but overall, you know, it's cool. So that is it, guys. That's my manga collection. I haven't done a count for the series, but counting omnibuses and singles and whatnot, I think I'm sitting close to at least over 1,000, maybe 900, 950, somewhere around there. I haven't done a proper count, but I'm sitting somewhere around there. I'll probably update the comments saying what my total count is, but for now, it's gonna sit at, I'm gonna guesstimate it at 1,000, just because, like I said, I haven't done a full proper count yet. But that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the 500 sub special. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Enjoyed hearing my thoughts, enjoyed seeing what I owned. Hopefully, I maybe persuaded you guys to get into some series that you would have not gotten into before. And as always, stay cool, guys. Keep collecting manga. And as always, peace out.